What's up guys, my name is Ace, and the Call of Duty Next event is now over, and in today's video, I wanted to compile all of the important details for multiplayer and put it into one video, so you guys don't have to go and watch like an entire hour of just multiplayer coverage from there. I'm condensing that all into one video, and the gameplay you're seeing in the background is Black Ops 6. However, of course, it's not my gameplay. This is gameplay from the streamers that were attending CoD NEXT. You can see all their names pop up with their corresponding gameplay. And keep in mind, I only took gameplay that was featured in the main broadcast. I didn't want to go in and sort of steal the gameplay of people from their own channels. And if you guys do see any like texture glitches or hitching and stuff, that's not on my end. That was just what the stream looked like because there were a few connectivity issues there. And with this, while I don't have any personal gameplay to share for you guys since I decided to sit this year out for CoD NEXT, I just want to remind you that I have played this game a few months back at the Treyarch studio, so I do have experience with the game, but I'm not really going to be sharing impressions so much in this video. This is mainly just designed to be an informative video, and I'm actually going to hold off on my initial impressions until the beginning of the beta, so I will be sharing that on Friday. That way, I can share my own personal gameplay to go alongside my impressions. And without further ado, let's dive into all of the maps that we're going to be seeing in the beta, as well as the rest of the maps that we're actually going to be seeing for the launch of the game. They did reveal that today at Next. But for the beta build, we're going to have access to 5 6v6 maps. And these are Scud, Babylon, Rewind, Skyline, and Derelict. So those are the regular 6v6 maps, and we've seen tons of clips of these in official reveals in the past. But then on top of that, we have strike maps. And these are the smaller maps that are designed primarily for 2v2 or 6v6 face-off, where there's no score streaks involved in those. It's a super small experience for 6v6, so just constant chaotic action. And in the beta, we're gonna have access to Stakeout, Gala, and Pit for those strike maps. So that's 8 maps total, and half the maps that we're gonna be seeing at launch. There's actually 16 at launch. So let's have a look at the rest of those ones. For 6v6, we have Subsonic, which we just recently in the trailer saw a couple clips on. Same thing with Red Card. This is the one that takes place inside the football stadium. After that, we have Vault, and this is the one where you can see somebody diving out of the water in the trailer, although it is only like knee-deep water, so they're not diving from underneath the water. Then after that, we have Payback, which I don't think we've seen any footage of, aside from some like in-game images where some guns were on the wall. And then we have Vorkuta as well, which is the only snowy map, I believe, in the game at launch. And we have seen a couple little clips on Vorkuta as well. Then after that, we have Protocol, which takes place on an island. And with this one, we're actually gonna have partial access to this in the beta because they're gonna have a training course for you to practice Omni movement on Protocol. And then finally for 6v6 maps, we have Lowtown. And that one we did see a bunch of clips in the reveal and the trailer on. Then we have one more strike map that's going to be coming at launch, and this one's called Sandhouse, which might look familiar. It's basically Nuketown after it's been exploded, so it's not going to have the same layout as Nuketown, although there will be some familiar features, but this is a brand new map. It's not Nuketown. Nuketown will most likely be coming very shortly after launch. I would guess like 2 to 3 weeks after launch. So there we go. Those are our 16 launch maps that we can expect to see with Black Ops 6. 12 of those are 6v6 maps, 4 of them are the strike maps. Next, let's talk about weapons a little bit. With this, in Black Ops 6, they're introducing a brand new system, which is global weapon builds. And this is just a new and unique way to save your weapon build. So it's like saving a custom blueprint. However, the difference with this is if you make an adjustment to that custom blueprint and you have it on multiple class setups, it will change it for those class setups as well. And that applies across game modes as well. So that will work in Zombies and Warzone. So if you have a multiplayer build that you really like, you can save that in multiplayer and it will also adjust it for your Warzone setup. Now, if you don't want those to be linked, that's fine. You can create separate builds for separate modes if you want. But I think this is going to be really helpful, especially with secondary setups, because a lot of times I just want to use the same pistol setup on all of my classes once I've settled in to my preferred secondary weapon. And now I can have it so if I discover a new attachment that I really like on my secondary build, I can adjust it once and it will adjust it for all of the class setups that contain that particular build that I like using. Additionally, something they mentioned with Gunsmith in Black Ops 6 is they've designed it so attachments have fewer downsides attached to them. There are still some attachments that do have downsides where it makes sense. Like if they provide a really big upside, yeah, there's still going to be some downsides. But for many of the attachments, there are no downsides at all, aside from the fact that it's taking up your weapon slot, and there's the opportunity cost of not being able to use a different attachment in that slot. And that's just designed to free things up so you can truly build the gun however you want without having to worry too much about penalties attached to those. On top of that, they did simplify the gunsmith quite a bit, so there aren't too many like duplicate type attachments that are almost the same as another attachment with just slight differences. Right now in Modern Warfare 3, for instance, you could find like 6 or 7 grips that do basically the same things, just to slightly varying degrees. And that can really get overwhelming fast, and we're not going to see that sort of overlap in Black Ops 6. Instead, they're still providing you with plenty of options to do what you want to do, but it's not like you have options within options. You just have the option to take that build in the direction you want to take it. And speaking of attachments, I want to point out rapid fire and high caliber attachments are in the game, so there are methods of improving your time to kill potential. And when it comes to headshots, based on what I've seen so far with the guns in the beta build, for SMGs and assault rifles at least, without high caliber, headshots don't actually reduce the number of shots to kill at all. So you have to use the high caliber attachment on those guns if you want any benefits from headshots. And then on top of that, I should mention with rapid fire, there are downsides attached to that, and that is the fact that you're going to have worse recoil overall. Now, when it comes to overall time to kill, I've already made a couple videos talking about the time to kill that I've been able to analyze so far, but what they say is their time to kill is designed to be slightly faster than Black Ops Cold War. Now, realistically, it's pretty similar. It's right around the same level. I think you could argue with rapid fire and high caliber headshots mixed into the equation, it will be a bit faster than Cold War, but generally speaking, it's going to be roughly in line with what we saw with Cold War. However, players do have 100 HP in this game, not 150. Not that that really matters much, because all they did here is reduce the damage to take roughly the same number of shots to kill as what we saw in Cold War. Now, another thing to point out here, which I have mentioned in the past based on leaks, but it's now been officially confirmed, is for regular guns like non-sniper rifles, there are no separate body multipliers that deal different amounts of damage. So it's not going to take you an extra shot to kill because you accidentally hit them once in the stomach instead of the upper torso. It doesn't matter where in the body you're shooting them with regular guns, it's going to take you the same number of shots to kill. So when it comes to that time to kill as well, you're going to see a lot of consistency there compared to something like Modern Warfare 3, where there's a bit more inconsistency depending on where in the body you're shooting them. Next up, on the topic of weapons, when they're talking about progression, this time around, attachments will be unlocked on a per gun basis. So you don't have to use a different gun in order to unlock an attachment that you want to use on the current gun that you're using. You just have to progress through that one gun to unlock all of the attachments for that gun. However, optics are going to be the exception here. When it comes to optics, they are unlocked per class. So there may be a particular optic you want to use on one assault rifle. Well, you may have to use a different assault rifle in order to unlock that optic. But for all of the other attachments, it is unlocked on a per gun basis, and I think that is a nice middle ground there. Additionally, speaking of optics, Reticle Customization is coming back. That's something that was leaked earlier, but now officially confirmed. Then let's talk a little bit more about progression and prestige. Now, we already kind of knew about prestige. There's going to be 10 prestiges in this game. They are the traditional Call of Duty prestige. So once you reach that maximum level, you can reset yourself back to level 1 and advance to the next prestige level. And you can do that 10 times. And then after the 10 times, there's 1,000 levels that you can reach. And then if you manage to reach that maximum level, you will get a very special reward. Now, something they confirmed today is each prestige will be themed to match an older Call of Duty game, which I think is pretty interesting. And they did share an emblem for Prestige 1 here at least. After that, they also confirmed that permanent unlock tokens will return, so every time you advance to another prestige, you get to select one item that you will permanently unlock forever. Even when you reset yourself back to level 1 with the next prestige, that item that you selected will never get relocked. And then they did also confirm that weapon and camo progression doesn't reset when you prestige. So that means if you've been leveling up a gun and earning camos on it in one prestige, and then you do prestige, well, when you get set back to level 1, that weapon will be locked again until you reach the level to unlock it. But once you do unlock it, you'll just pick up with that gun right where you left off. You don't reset your levels or your camo progress. Next, let's just start going through a bunch of miscellaneous items that were confirmed today. Some of this stuff was leaked in the past, but most of it wasn't officially confirmed until today with Call of Duty Next, so it's good to just point it out again, because leaks don't count as confirmation. One thing I'm really excited about is they confirmed Dark Ops challenges will be returning, and those are the challenges for calling cards that are typically like one-off sort of events. It's not the type of thing you grind for long term. It's something like get a kill chain, for instance, and you'll get a very unique and hidden calling card. The thing about these Dark Ops challenges is you can't actually see what the challenge is until you've completed it, or until you search online and find somebody else who's completed it, and that'll show you what you have to do. Now, on top of that, we got to see all of the different preset heads-up display options, because we will be able to customize our heads-up display in Black Ops 6, and I believe at least in the full build of the game, there will be the ability to customize each individual item as well, instead of just being stuck to the presets. After that, something that was just confirmed today is the HARP kill streak is returning, and that's essentially like the Blackbird or Advanced UAV, or recent Advanced UAV at least, where it's real-time arrows that show on the minimap for enemy players. Although it looks like the HARP won't be available in the beta, they mentioned that'll be available at launch. They also showed off all of the perk images, and I'm not going to go through every single perk in today's video, because that deserves a video on its own, and I've already covered all of the leaked perks, and it appears most, if not all of those, were perfectly accurate, but I'll likely go over this again once the beta is live. Then they went on to reveal the tacticals we'll have available just in the beta build of the game. This isn't all of them at launch, but we have Concussion, Flashbang, Stim Shot, Prox Alarm, and Decoy. For lethals in the beta, we have the Frag, Sticky Grenade, Blast Trap, and Combat Axe. For field upgrades, we have Assault Pack, Trophy System, Neurogas, Acoustic Amp, which is like Amplify but in field upgrade form, so you can hear enemy footsteps louder, and Sleeper Agent, which is the brand new one. And then finally for beta content, they revealed the Scorestreaks we'll have access to in the beta. Again, there will be more at launch, but we've got Scout Pulse, RCXD, UAV, Counter UAV, Watchdog Helo, Hellstorm, Interceptors, and Chopper Gunner. They also showed off the characters we'll have access to in the beta build of the game from the different factions. We can also see some menus of the emotes and sprays that are going to be in the game, so those are confirmed. And Charlie Intel actually recorded a little video while he was there at CoD NEXT as well that showed off what an emote looks like in-game, so it will take you into third person. Next, somebody dropped a nuke at CoD NEXT, and here's just a brief clip of that nuke being called in. It looks like it's going to be a 30 gun streak to unlock that. And I'm excited to see that. It's never really a guarantee in a Black Ops game. Typically, Treyarch doesn't like nukes, but it is confirmed for Black Ops 6. And now let's take a look at the mastery camos. For multiplayer, we have gold, which is looking really nice there. Diamond is the Black Ops 2 style diamond. That definitely looks like a nice throwback. We also have dark spine as a new mastery camo. And then finally, we have Dark Matter, and Dark Matter is looking really good this time around. One interesting thing about it this year is it is reactive. When you fire your gun, there's actually a reactive animation that takes place on the gun itself, so I think that's pretty cool. And then for zombies, we also have mastery camos. With this, we have Mystic Gold, Opal, Afterlife, which is looking really clean. I actually quite like that Afterlife camo. And then finally, we have Nebula for our zombies mastery. Now after that, something else that was confirmed today from Treyarch on Twitter is they've implemented a new immersive audio tech in Black Ops 6 that allows players to hear gunfire and footsteps clearer than ever in a Black Ops game. And this apparently includes a new reverb and echo system. Personally, I really just can't wait to get my hands on this with my own setup at home. Like, I did play the game at the studio, but it was a bit of a noisy environment, not with my familiar setup. And honestly, that was so long ago, I can't really remember what the footsteps were like. So I'm excited to get back into this for the beta. I know there is a ninja perk in the game, so that's refreshing to see, at least if the footsteps end up being too audible and easy to hear. But I'm hoping they found a good balance here for Black Ops 6, where you don't feel the need to use the ninja perk, especially in like respawn game modes. And then finally, for the important multiplayer information that was revealed today, Ranked Play is confirmed to be coming Season 1, which I'm really happy to see that. In some recent years with Call of Duty, Ranked Play doesn't come until like Season 2, which typically is until like January or February, and by then, a lot of the interest and hype has died down for the game already, and it's kind of annoying that Ranked Play isn't available sooner. So this time around, it will be available Season 1, and that's pretty much all we got when it comes to Ranked Play at this point. They will, of course, be providing more details down the road. And there we go. That's going to wrap it up for the recap of all of the important information I was able to find throughout the entire CoD NEXT broadcast today for multiplayer. And this is where I'm curious to hear from you guys in those comments down below. Based on everything you've seen so far and the gameplay you've seen so far, how are you feeling about Black Ops 6? Are you guys generally excited or not so much? You have some concerns? Just let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated. And don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.